Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news on how Trump has livened up the debate on terror screening, news about no-fly list, news about this weekend's Christmas parade, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Well, Trump has heated up the terrorist argument. Here we'll provide his whole comment versus the liberal media's choice to only say over and over and over again only part of his quote. Trump said, "I'm calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on." He said in a campaign statement, the last part of the statement, "until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on," has been missing in most media reports. One campaign person likened the statement to what Republicans were calling for about a month ago, a pause in immigration, until we could guarantee a proper vetting process. Another of his comments being mostly ignored by the media is this. He also said Muslim American citizens would be allowed back into the country after an overseas trip. Reuters is reporting that Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump on Tuesday likened his proposal to ban Muslims from entering the United States to World War II policies implemented by U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt against people of Japanese, German, and Italian descent. "What I'm doing is no different than FDR," Trump said on ABC's Good Morning America program, in a very heated round of television interviews where he defended his plan in the wake of last week's California shooting spree by two U.S. Muslims who authorities said were radicalized. "We have no choice but to do this. We have people that want to blow up our buildings, our cities. We have to figure out what is going on." Still, Trump said that Roosevelt's policies were even worse. In an unusually lengthy interview on MSNBC, Trump said he did not know how long the ban on Muslims would last. "Until we can get our hands around the situation, we have to do something, and we have to do something now," he said. Critics have said Trump's plan rejects American values by singling out people based on their religion and would also likely be illegal and unconstitutional. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. Trump's was the most dramatic response by a presidential candidate following the San Bernardino rampage. Even as other Republicans have called for a suspension to U.S. President Barack Obama's plan to allow 10,000 refugees from Syria. The proposal drew a fresh wave of criticism on Tuesday from fellow Republicans, U.S. lawmakers, and others. The proposal was criticized in France, which had its worst attack since World War II, on November 13th when shootings and suicide bombings in Paris killed 130 people. French Prime Minister Valls said in a post on Twitter, "Mr. Trump, like others, is feeding hatred and misinformation. Our only enemy is radical Islam." That's from the French. Trump reiterated that a ban would last until Congress acts. In the aftermath of the San Bernardino terrorist attack, have you seen stories about the current no-fly list? Some gun control advocates are asking that the no-fly list be considered in whether a person may purchase a gun. Have you wondered just what the no-fly list is? Well, I did some research on it. Right now, today, there are 98,437 people on the list. 3,428 people have been added so far this year. Did you know that you can search to see who's on it? I searched it, and my name isn't on it. Yay! At the end of the Bush administration, there were about 47,000 people on the list. The no-fly list is a list created and maintained by the United States government's Terrorist Screening Center. It is a list of people who are not permitted to board a commercial aircraft for travel in or out of the United States. The list has also been used to divert aircraft not flying to or from the U.S. away from U.S. airspace. The number of people on the list rises and falls according to threat and intelligence reporting. There were 10,000 names on the list in 2011, 21,000 in 2012, and 47,000 in 2013. The list, along with the secondary security screening selection, which tags would-be passengers for extra inspection, was created after the September 11th attacks in 2001. The no-fly list, the selectee list, and the terrorist watch list were created by the administration of George W. Bush and retained by the Obama administration. U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairwoman Dianne Feinstein said in May 2010, "The no-fly list itself is one of our best lines of defense." However, the list has been criticized on civil liberties and due process grounds, due in part to the potential for ethnic, religious, economic, political, or racial profiling and discrimination. It has also raised concerns about privacy and government secrecy. Finally, it has been criticized as costly, prone to false positives, and easily defeated. The no-fly list is different from the terrorist watch list, a much longer list of people said to be suspected of some involvement with terrorism. The terrorist watch list contains about 1 million names, and that was by March 2009. While there have been challenges to the no-fly list, the courts have upheld the list. The real problem comes when a person that checks in for a flight is wrongly identified as being on the list. There is a process for a way to correct this, but it is long and tedious. And you might not even know that you're on the list until you try and board a plane. In local Christmas parade news, we get this announcement: Santa's coming, Santa's coming. When, you ask? Well, there will be a parade again this year. The Ridgecrest Elks Club 47th Annual Christmas Parade is coming this weekend. It'll be held this Saturday, December 12th. Lineup starts at 9 a.m. and the parade starts at 10 a.m. The parade route is west on Las Flores, south on Norma, east on Ridgecrest Boulevard, and north on Boston Street. All parade participants are instructed to report to the sign-up station on Las Flores to get their spot assignment. If you want to watch the parade, we suggest you get out early to get the best spots. Once the roads are closed around the parade route, access gets difficult. The weather report for Saturday is nice and sunny. It will be quite cool at lineup time, but the high for the day is predicted to be almost 60 degrees. For those driving around Ridgecrest, they should be aware of these road closures. This will be Saturday morning. Put this on your calendar. So come watch the parade. Santa will be arriving in this parade. Now stay tuned for today's KZGN Talking Points editorial when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 100th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. 100, wow. I can't believe this is my 100th editorial. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Here's today's topic. So it is now clear that women can be terrorists too. Well, a few editorials ago, I expressed concern that we should not only be concerned about men in our immigration background checks, but women too. After I said that, many folks took me to task for being uncompassionate towards women and children that just wanted to come to the U.S. to flee the war in their country. However, the numbers show men of fighting age as a large part of the migration of refugees. It is not just the women, children, and older people. We have seen the president ridicule Republicans for being wimps for asking for a more thorough background check on all immigrants wanting to come to the U.S. He said that Republicans talk tough, but aren't tough. This is just like junior high school snipe at someone, or a bully in school trying to tear down or demean another person. This is from a president that won't even call the war what it is, because he doesn't want to irritate the extremist terrorists. A president that won't take the war to them in a scale that should be done. All he does is little pinpricks against them now and then. He won't let our guys drop bombs on fuel facilities because of the potential harm to the environment. He won't let our guys hit a target unless they are absolutely positive no civilians will get hit. And he has the gall to insult people that just want the government to adequately screen all these new immigrants. By him saying Republicans fear women and children, I wonder what he can say after the San Bernardino terrorist attacks. Here was a husband and a wife that had a 6-month-old child. They decided together to make this terrorist attack. And the FBI is even leaning towards the theory that it really was her that got her husband to go with the attack. They just dropped off their 6-month-old child with the grandmother and then launched the attack. It has been reported by the FBI that the woman was probably the one skilled to build the bombs. To those of you that ridiculed me for wanting better screening of all immigrants, the woman just discarded her baby to make bombs, and as partners with her husband, did the terrorist attack. What do you say now about, oh, we need to be compassionate to women and children? When are you going to get it? These Muslim extremists want to kill all of us infidels. Not just men, women too. Women that are willing to just toss aside their own kids to kill us. And one further note is being compassionate to children. They are being trained in Syria and other Middle East countries to be soldiers right now. Kids are being indoctrinated from the earliest age to hate us and our way of life. It goes back even in other wars like Vietnam. The North Vietnamese sacrificed many of their kids to kill Americans. Our own soldiers have film and accounts of kids setting IEDs in attacks on U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Kids as young as 5 years old setting bombs to kill us. Our snipers saw them in the streets setting the bombs. So if you think we need to be compassionate towards children, think about that. And how do you vet a child? How can we as a country protect our citizens from a potential threat by a child? A child that has no traceable history, but a child that could have been raised from the earliest age to hate us. The only way we have a chance of screening a child is by screening the parent. So, since we are this compassionate country towards women and children, don't you think a good way to get into the country would be to come in with her kids in tow? Are you people that want to let all these people come into here to do us harm? I bet if any of you compassionate people had a loved one in that room where all those defenseless people were attending a party and they got killed, you'd change your tune. It's not easy to be nice to people that have declared they plan on attacking us here at home. They plan on killing every one of us unless we convert to Muslim. You people that want open, easy immigration because they are just women and children, what do you say now? Oh, I know what you'll say. Well, this was just one example of a woman attacking us. You'll minimize it as a fluke. Well, I say this. Go talk to one of the family members in San Bernardino and tell them that was just a fluke. Oh, but wait. She came in under a marriage visa, you say. So that was the problem. Our visa system, not our immigration background check system. Hello? That still means that even our visa system is flawed too. That we need to better vet people that want to come in under that type visa. So now we have conclusive proof that women can be terrorists and should be vetted thoroughly before being let into the country. The directors of both the FBI and Homeland Security have provided testimony that there is not enough information available to properly vet all the people trying to get into the United States from some countries. But all of you compassionate people can say is that the system vets them thoroughly, and you'll post a website describing the process. But yet, government officials say they can't do it. Are we speaking different languages here? Our government officials that should know if the system is up to the task say the system is not up to the task. Yet many still seem to think it's okay. Hello? Are you even listening with open ears? And to those that say this is fear-mongering, we are not living in fear. This is living smart. If a guy comes up to you in a restaurant and tells you that when you come outside, he's going to kill you, do you stupidly walk outside to be killed? Or do you act smart and call the police? If you know someone wants to kill you, you don't ignore it and hope it doesn't happen. Women and children extremist Islamic terrorists are just as big a threat as men, regardless of religion or country of origin. We should not let one onto our soil that we cannot properly screen. In conclusion, the feds say the vetting system is not up to the task. We know women can do just as much harm as men. We know a child can also kill people when raised with hate. Fix the vetting background check system. If a person cannot be fully vetted, even with the current system, then we shouldn't let them into the country until it's fixed. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Now stay tuned for weather and sports after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Lane for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, heavy rain will continue across the Pacific Northwest and Intermountain West on Tuesday as the next in a series of storms moves onshore. Snow will develop at the higher elevations across the Cascades and northern and central Rockies. Strong winds are also possible across the region, with gusts as high as 50 miles per hour. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 57, Georgia at 61, Arkansas at 67, northern Texas at 64, Arizona at 67, and Los Angeles at 78. And for us locally, tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 37, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 71, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 44, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, a 20% chance of rain, partly sunny with a high near 68, west-southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, a 30% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 41, west-southwest wind 25 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 40. And Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 57, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 20. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. And now here's Tom Eck with sports.
And a very pleasant Tuesday early evening to everyone. Let's talk about local sports. Junior high basketball this past weekend up at Saracoso. Mentioned it yesterday, but it's worth mentioning again. Patrick Sell with me today. Patrick was there. Patrick, a lot of excitement on this past Saturday, wasn't there?
Absolutely. It was a great turnout by the community. A lot of middle schools coming out. A lot of great basketball for such young age. It's very impressive to watch.
Mm-hmm. A lot of help also. Appreciate all of that. The 8th grade was won by Jacobson. They defeated a very good Monroe team. 7th grade went to Monroe. They defeated Jacobson. And then in the C division, it was Charter and St. Anne's had a great game. Charter had a chance right at the buzzer regulation to win, missed a shot, and then in overtime, St. Anne's won the C division. This weekend, it'll be the girls' tournament. It'll start Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday night, and then go all day Saturday. First games Thursday are at 4 o'clock. All right, let's talk a little bit about college football. Over the weekend, Alabama, a big winner over Florida. Stanford over USC. They took over in the fourth quarter. Clemson over North Carolina. And Michigan State defeated Iowa. So right now, the top 4 teams that get to play for a national championship are Alabama, Clemson, Michigan State, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the only team that didn't play this past weekend. Patrick, your thoughts on the 4 remaining teams?
I'm personally very excited for the Cotton Bowl. I'd like to see Clemson come up and upset Alabama. I think Alabama's got some momentum going into it. I think it's kind of the makings for a great game.
All right, let's take a look at the NFL. A few scores tomorrow. Look at the standings. The Eagles beat the Patriots 35-28. That was kind of the upset of the day. One of the best games of the day, the Jets beat the Giants in overtime, where the Giants just keep losing close games, as I mentioned. Seattle over the Vikings. Seattle says, hey, don't count us out yet. And Tampa Bay beats Cleveland. Lovie Smith, again, doing a very, very good job with that team. All right, Golden State won their 22nd game in a row. That's worth mentioning. And the Lakers lost at Toronto on Sunday night. All right, that is your sports for this, call it early Tuesday evening. And Patrick, we're looking forward to a good weekend with the girls tournament, aren't we?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great time.
Okay, that's your sports. This is Tom Heck, Patrick Sell for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of the KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk. And watch this neat video of people texting while walking.
This is the city where danger lurks. Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. They prowl the streets alone and in packs, causing mayhem, destruction, and carnage. Warning, until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers. They're not looking out for you.
Dude! Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected.
Sorry.
With strong, healthy bones,